We needed to install new baseboards in much of the house. A lot of the baseboards had been replaced when they put in the baseboard heating system, and there was also different areas that needed repair anyway. Here's a look at one room with all of the baseboard heat removed, and you can see that there were lots of nail holes to patch up. There were also holes from the water pipes going in, and even holes from where they previously had the forced air heat. In addition to repairing the walls, we also had to do some work on the floor. You can see that here there was a hole from where they had one of the water pipes going up to get into the hydronic heat system. Ben was able to take some scrap pieces of flooring and then cut out the existing flooring to about the same size to pull those pieces out to replace them. This is an example of a spot where they had ductwork, where we had to close up the space and replace the flooring. Ben ordered the pre-primed baseboard from a local lumber yard. He installed the new baseboards with an air nailer. Some of the baseboard we painted after it was installed, but for the majority of it, we painted it before we installed it, which made it a lot easier that we didn't have to worry about getting paint on the wall when we were painting the baseboards. Ben made cope joints in the corners by making a template. For the really long walls, he had to miter the pieces to fit them together. I ran a thin bead of caulk along the top of the baseboard for a seamless look. It's best to put on a thin bead and go back and add more, because if you put too much on, then when you try to wipe it down, you'll end up having too much excess and have to clean it a little bit extra. So less is more. For the primed but unpainted baseboard, I overfilled the holes with some wood putty and then sanded it down. I used 2 different grits of sandpaper, and then when it got painted, you couldn't see the holes at all anymore. For the baseboard that we painted before installing, I used some Fast and Final spackle for the nail holes. It was a good color match. It didn't quite fill the hole smoothly, but what you'll see is that when you fill it in and take a step back, the holes really tend to disappear. Here's a closer look at the before and after just using the Fast and Final spackle. Unless you're looking really close up, you can't see the nail holes after the spackle. Here's a look at one of our rooms with the finished baseboard.